Your CBAM cockpit. These 4 KPIs summarize where you stand: overall readiness, current risk, the single most important next action, and your data quality. Each card is clickable for the full story. Emissions and energy at a glance. Total greenhouse gas emissions broken down by scope: direct, indirect, precursor, and your energy mix sourced straight from your uploaded evidence. CBAM Insight Cards. 4 focused readouts: your estimated CBAM liability, how your intensity compares to the EU default, your data quality coverage, and a readiness breakdown. Click and I. The detail side pane. Every metric is clickable. Clicking the eye on a KPI opens this side pane with the evidence, the calculation, the EU mapping, and plain English context behind that number. Where you are in the workflow. A snapshot of open requests and deadlines with quick links to jump back into the work. Emissions and portfolio side by side. Your emissions overview next to the buyer request portfolio, so you can see the numbers and the work in one glance. The CBAM assistant. Stuck on a term or unsure what to do next? The assistant answers CBAM questions in the context of this screen with ready-made suggestions. Open it anytime from the orange button. You're all set. Buyer requests. This is where every EU buyer's CBAM data request begins. Each request becomes its own evidence workflow. Log it here, track its deadline, then activate it to start collecting proof. The request side pane. Adding a request opens this side pane form. Capture the buyer, destination country, EORI, product, CN code, shipment quantity, reporting period, and deadline, exactly as the buyer sent them. Your request portfolio. Every request shows at a glance: buyer, product, and CN code, quantity, reporting period, deadline, turns amber within 14 days, and status. The status moves new, in progress, submitted, and a green active marks the request you're currently working on. Buyer details. Clicking a row opens the full request. The buyer details card holds the importer's identity, company, country, email, and their EORI number. Hover the I next to any EU term for a plain English explanation. Shipment data points. The shipment info card carries the data that drives CBAM: product description, CN code, the EU classification that decides if the goods are in scope, quantity, and the due date, counting down to the buyer's deadline. Click an I. The detail side pane. Clicking the I next to the CN code opens this side pane. It traces exactly where the value came from and what it means. No guesswork. Four ways to understand any value: documents, the source file, an extracted field; how it's calculated, the formula, and inputs; EU regulation, where it maps in the official workbook; what and why, plain English context. Every eye opens a pane like this. See the pulsing eye icons next to EORI and CN code? Every eye across the app opens this same side pane: evidence, calculation, regulation, and context for that exact value. Click any one whenever you want the full story. Buyer instructions. The buyer's specific demands live here. In this sample, Meyer GmbH requires actual supplier-specific emissions for the precursor steel. EU default values won't be accepted. These instructions shape what evidence you must collect. Link the producing plant. Choose which of your installations actually produced these goods. Emissions are reported per facility, so this link is required before you can activate the request. Activate and start workflow. This is the key action. Activating ties the request to a factory and opens the full evidence workflow for it. We won't click it during the tour. It's yours to trigger when you're ready. Your active request, always in view. Once activated, the sidebar case card shows your live request, its product and reporting period, and an overall progress bar, so you always know what you're working on. Choose your sector. CBAM applies sector by sector. Pick yours and the platform organizes everything: products, CN codes, process routes, and required evidence around it. Pick a sector. Steel is the fully configured workflow in this demo. The others are reference previews so you can see how the platform extends to aluminum, cement, fertilizer, and more. What your sector needs: typical goods and CN codes, the exact evidence to collect, the calculation focus, and which default values apply, all tailored to the selected sector. Evidence readiness. A traffic light view of how ready each evidence area is. Green is good, amber needs attention, red is a gap. Click any tile for detail. Click an eye, the detail side pane. Clicking the eye next to any value opens this side pane. It traces the CBAM assistant. Stuck on a term or unsure what to do next? The assistant. You're all set. Drop your documents here. Upload invoices, electricity bills, MTRs, and production logs in one go. The platform classifies each file and extracts the data automatically. No manual typing. Organized by evidence type. Extracted documents are grouped into energy evidence and production precursor evidence, each with a status and confidence, so you can see what's solid and what needs review. Click an eye, the detail side pane. Click the eye on any document to open this side pane, the extracted field, the source, the confidence level, and how it feeds the calculation. The CBAM assistant. Stuck on a term or unsure what to do next? The assistant answers CBAM questions in the context of this screen, with ready-made suggestions. Open it anytime from the black button. You're all set. Next. The source document. On the left is the original document with the extracted fields highlighted, so you can check every value against the real paperwork. Review and approve values. On the right, accept, correct, or inspect each AI extracted value. Confidence is color-coded. Low confidence fields are flagged for a closer look before they enter calculations. Click an eye, the detail side pane. Click an eye or inspect on any field to open this side pane. Document level checks. A full table to confirm every document's type, period, fields, and CBAM linkage before anything is used downstream. The CBAM assistant. Stuck. You're all set. Chase missing precursor data. Upstream precursor emissions are usually the hardest gap. This screen lets you request the right data from each supplier and track it to completion. Supplier gap cards. Each card shows what you already have: material, heat number, mass, and what's missing, the specific embedded emissions. with actions to request, record a reply, or fall back to a default. The 20% default value rule. For complex goods, default values may cover at most 20% of total embedded emissions. This tracks your exposure live and warns when you cross the limit. Click an eye, the detail side pane. Clicking the eye next to any value opens this side pane. The CBAM Assistant. You're all set. The emissions engine. Every figure here is computed from your activity data and published emission factors. Nothing typed by hand. Click any icon to see the evidence and the math. Total emissions and the headline number. The donut shows your split across direct, indirect, and precursor, and the key CBAM figure, specific embedded emissions, SEE per ton of product. Your activity data. Enter production output, electricity, fuels, and precursors. Results recalculate live as you type, and leaving a precursor's actual value blank falls back to the conservative default. The full math. Open the breakdown to see each scope computed step by step, including the 20% default value rule check. Projected CBAM cost. Estimate your certificate cost across the phase-in years, factoring in the EU ETS price and any carbon price already paid in India. Click an eye, the details side pane. Clicking the eye next to any value opens this side. The CBAM. Next. The golden thread. Every final reporting figure links back to the document it came from. This is what makes the pack audit ready. No orphan numbers. Value, evidence chain. Each row maps a final value to its evidence chain and review status. Click any row to open the source document, calculation logic, and history. Click an eye, the detail change log, a time-stamped record of every AI extraction and human correction, including who changed what and why. How the headline is built. The full derivation of specific embedded emissions, component by component, with the formula and source behind each one. The CBAM Assistant. You're all set. The verifier's view. A focused, read-only view for an accredited verifier, ISO 17029-14065. Share it as a time-limited link, no scattered folders to hunt through. Readiness and findings. Evidence readiness as traffic lights, plus prioritized review findings ranked by severity. So the verifier knows exactly where to focus. Click an eye, the detail side pane. Clicking the eye next to any value opens this side pane. It traces where the number came from, the math behind it, the EU regulation it maps to, and plain English context for every value on the page. Compile the review pack. Bundle the calculation trail, evidence links, assumptions, and open findings into one verifier-ready pack. The CBAM Assistant. You're all set. The EU CBAM Workbook. Your reviewed values are mapped into the official EU communication template. When it's ready, download the completed .xlsx straight from here. Sheet-by-sheet mapping. Each official sheet, A-INS data through E-PERCH-PREC and summary, shows its status and row-level mappings, so you can see exactly which value lands in which cell. Workbook readiness. A quick checklist of which sheets are ready and which still need attention. Here, fuel quality B and supplier emissions E. Click an I, the detail side pane. Clicking the I next to any value opens this side pane. It traces where the number came from, the math behind it, the EU regulation it maps to, and plain English context for every value on the page. The CBAM, you're all set. Package for each recipient. The right data for the right reader, buyer, verifier, or supplier. Each pack pulls from the same reviewed evidence so everything stays consistent. Ready-made packs. 6 outputs. The EU buyer pack, the verifier review pack, a structured supplier request, the workbook data, an evidence archive, and a management summary. Click an I, the detail side pane. Clicking the I next to any value opens this side pane. Share securely. Instead of emailing attachments, generate a read-only link with an expiry. Recipients see only what you choose to share. The CBAM Assistant. You're all set. Your readiness score, a single number for how close you are to a verifier-ready pack. Here it's 78/100. Ready for internal review, but not yet verifier-ready. What to do next? The prioritized actions to close the gap, with the single highest impact item, supplier emissions data, called out first. Score breakdown. See how each evidence area contributes to the score, alongside the status of every document. Financial exposure. Your projected CBAM certificate cost across the phasing years, adjusted for any carbon price already paid in India. Click an I, the details side pane. Clicking the I next to any value opens this side pane. It traces where the number came from, the math behind it, the EU regulation it maps to, and plain English context for every value on the page. You're all set. That completes the workflow. Replay any tour anytime from Take a Tour.